Hello.
Hi Sully, thank you for coming in today.
It's always a pleasure.
Awesome. So what we're going to be doing is talking about some of the exams that we went through last time, and just giving you a review of all those findings that we had. We also took some x-rays, so I want to talk to you about what we found on those as well. So mainly you said that your complaint was your neck. It's feeling tight. You have some pain that's going into the right side.
Yeah, it's like comes down here and then kind of gets stuck in this area, especially when I'm moving.
Yeah, well that actually makes a lot of sense because now that we're looking at your x-rays, what we normally want to see in your spine, this is your spine, over here is your neck region, your cervical spine. You see that there's a little bit of a C-shaped curve here. That's actually what we want to maintain so that we can maintain the weight of your head and just all of the different forces that may occur in daily life. So what we're seeing right here is that it's actually starting to get a little bit more straight.
Oh, there's no C like you said.
There's no C. So what can happen with that is now that your head, we also saw within your history and the exams that we did, that your head starts to actually fall forward a lot of the time. So we call it anterior head carriage.
Okay.
That also makes a lot of sense because we see that you're sitting a lot with studying. You're kind of living in this hunched over
position. I told you, sometimes when I'm studying, I feel like I gotta move my head around or something, and I feel like I'm stuck in this position.
Yeah, your head is bent over a lot of the time. So what can happen is that we get a lot of tightness within the muscles over here, and then that can create some pain. And then if we run over to this next picture here, this is your left side and then your right side.
Oh, the L stays for, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So over here, if you look at your head, it looks like it's shifted over a little bit more towards this right side.
Yes.
And you said that you're having some right side pain and radiation into that area. So that can attribute to what's going on. Let's skip over to another section of your spine. This is your thoracic spine, your mid-back right here. This actually looks pretty normal and won't be something that is as much of a concern as the neck region that we were talking about.
That's good.
Yeah, over here, this is also your thoracic spine. Over here, this is actually something I also want to address with you. This is your lumbar spine. This is your low back region right here. This also maintains that C-shaped curve here, very similar to the C-shaped curve in your cervical spine. And then within the thoracics, it has a opposite C.
Okay.
So very similar to the cervical spine, we want to maintain that curve so that you're able to absorb different weights and loads within your body. So right here, we're seeing that it is also starting to strain out a little bit. So with care and adjustments, we can start helping to bring that curve back to normal. And I believe, oh, we've got another one right here. So this is a view coming from the back. So normally we want to see a spine that's straight. We want everything to be symmetrical in your body, much like that right head tilt. We want to bring it back to normal. Over here, again, left side.
Too.
Yeah, you can see it's starting to
shift.
shift.
Like a snake.
Yeah, it's favoring that left side. We want to bring it back to center. And what can happen with these changes within your bones is subluxations, or what we like to call subluxations. And this can occur with macrotraumas, microtraumas. Macrotraumas are things such as falling or being hit out of the blue. Right, exactly.
Makes sense.
And then microtraumas are just repetitive motions within daily life that, like you're sitting forward in that posture all the time, or if you're
studying for long
periods of time, looking in a certain direction for long periods of time, those macrotraumas and microtraumas can actually misplace any segment or vertebra that we like to call in your body. So if it starts rotating out of place, you see that there's some of these yellow things that are coming out of these holes in the vertebra.
Look like legs.
Yeah, exactly. So these are your nerves. And what the nerves do is that they're going to communicate information from the brain down to your extremities, your hands, your feet, your legs, your even your organs. So what we want to do is make sure that these holes maintain their integrity, and when it's out of place here, it starts impinging on these nerves.
Yeah, I can see it, and it moves it actually too.
Right, so it's actually creating a barrier between that communication between your brain and the rest of your body. So what we want to do through adjusting is that we're actually putting that segment back into place and restoring back the function of that nerve root. So what we're gonna do when we see you is one, do those adjustments, and then actually give you some exercises and care that you can do at home because
Okay.
this is mainly going to be a team effort.
Mhm.
So not only are we going to meet up 3 times a week for 8 weeks, I also want you to be doing things at home that will help restore these curves that we're talking about.
Okay.
And what's going on is that these curves didn't really straighten out overnight. It's going to take some time.
Okay.
So that's why we want to start off with the 3 times a week for 8 weeks.
Okay. That sounds manageable.
Yeah, doable. And then I do have some paperwork here that I'm going to give you. These just have your exercises that I'll be giving you, and then we'll show you how to do them a little bit
So
later.
like
but
homework.
just-
Okay.
Exactly, homework.
Cool.
But yeah, they're all going to reinforce your goals of getting out of pain and just bringing everything back to normal function. Do we have any other goals that we want to add to that?
Maybe I know this shouldn't be a goal of mine, but maybe if I do sit for long periods of time studying, I can have more like a what's called I don't get fatigued as much.
Right, and
Yeah.
these exercises will actually help and just showing you things within daily life to modify so that you're not feeling those pain
Okay.
quite as often. So maybe if you're sitting for 2 or 3 hours, getting up after every hour and
Makes a lot
going
more
for a
sense
walk.
than just
Yeah.
sitting there.
Exactly. Something else I do want to address with you is how the adjustment's going to feel after or during. Have you ever been adjusted before?
I think maybe once or twice, but yeah.
Maybe it's been a while.
Yeah, it's
since
been a
then.
while, so I kind of forgot how it feels like.
Okay, so we get a lot of questions here if chiropractors cause fractures or dislocations of those the vertebrae or segments that we're contacting through the adjustments to put your spine back into place. There's been very little accounts of those things happening, but that's a great question, and I want to make you aware that after an adjustment, you may feel some tightness or some soreness, and it's your body's way of adapting to that adjustment that we're delivering to your body. So that is something to be aware of, and if there's any other pain or discomfort during the course of the adjustments or any tests that we ever do, I always want you to let me know. I'm an open book. I want there to be a clear communication between us. So that is pretty much everything I wanted to go through. Did you have any other questions for me on the treatment or?
Everything else sounds pretty good, and I think you hit all the points, and it makes a lot of sense.
Perfect. Then we can go ahead and schedule your
I'm
next
ready.
appointment.
Let's do
Awesome.
it.
Good to see you.
Thank you.